Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project in a landfill already.
And there you have
that one before.
No. We'll talk in the Joe one more.
Terrible idea.
What up?
Turn my light on.
Yes.
Oh, plug the light in.
That would be helpful.
We have 3 of these now. Or
Really?
not three of these specifically. We got this one, and I got the one in the garage, and then we got a little table for the guest bedroom that has a light strip underneath of it, and it's the same system, and so they're all linked. They're not the remote isn't for each specific. It's not like utility specific or anything. So if I hit this, it turns everything on.
Really? All the same?
So yeah, So I've been unplugging the ones that I don't want on, so that I don't randomly just turn one on while I'm turning something else on.
That's a pretty damn strong remote.
Yeah. So
if it's getting all the way upstairs, that's pretty impressive, actually. Happy Monday night, everybody.
Yep.
We're coming at you with our last show for the year. Going to take a couple weeks off here, enjoy some family time.
Yep.
Open some presents.
Next week is the day after Christmas, and the week after that is the week after the New Year's Day, or the day after New Year's or something. I don't know.
It's the day after New Year's.
Holidays. Yeah.
Everybody's getting it off. It's the New Year's Day and Christmas Day falls on Sunday. So
yeah. I have them both off. So.
You and I both, and I am pumped and ready for the weekend. I'm not ready for the weather that we were talking about that's coming in here, but
yeah, it's supposed to be kind of nasty. We're supposed to get a bunch of snow, which the wife and one of the dogs I guess 2 of the dogs. The chunky one will be okay. The wife and the dogs are excited for it. I'm probably going to get to work from home on Friday. I already work from home on Thursday, but
I was going to say, you might be working from home on Thursday, too.
Yep, already doing that. Might be doing it Friday also.
That's a good way to start the Christmas weekend.
Yeah. And we don't really have anywhere to go or anything to do over the weekend, so it should be okay.
Yes, sir.
It normally gets cold in Kansas, but it's supposed to be like negative 40-degree wind chills, blizzard conditions, 6-8 inches of snow or something like that. So
we're going to wake up in the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Had to see that. See what I did there?
Yep. So what are you drinking tonight?
I'm being basic. I am just drinking a little bit of Jim Beam. So
some good stuff.
I had some up there, and I was like, yeah, I'll drink a little bit of that. So nothing fancy.
So the basic stuff, every once in a while, having some Jim Beam or Jack Daniels or some just
like Evan Williams or something like that.
Yeah, some just good old solid whiskey, bourbon, what have you. I'm drinking a new Oak and Eden blend. This is the bourbon and vine. These are the Oak and Edens are cool because they have it's probably too dark to see, but they have a wooden stave in there. And this one was soaked in, let me see, this is a Cabernet steeped oak. It's a French oak spiral, but it was soaked in Cabernet.
Sweet.
So it's got kind of a little sweetness, little hint of Cabernet Sauvignon in the old whiskey. And it's a really pretty color too. So it does have just a little bit of that kind of reddish wine color. So
it's smoky
fantastic. Yeah, it's still smoky because of the oak. This stuff, I mean, we've had this stuff on the show before, a couple of the other kinds, and just got a different flavor to it. Having that little spiral in it just gives that kind of deep woody flavor.
It sounded familiar when you're telling me about it pre-show. It really did sound familiar. So I was trying to figure out if I had that before. I
Yep.
think, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. We either had it on the show or last year we had it on the Doggo stream.
Yeah, we could have, because I thought it was a cool idea and I wanted to try it out, and it was fantastic. And then I've had a couple of the other kinds
I
too.
had something
But
I had to get done before tonight, so Luke was happy that I said I'm going to do it from home so he can drink some whiskey.
yeah, because she just this was on special at Vern's over the weekend, and so she got me
Sweet.
a bottle of it. And
Well, that's nice.
not that I don't like you here in person, but I kind of did want to drink whiskey tonight. So
It's okay. I'm never going to turn away the opportunity to drink whiskey myself. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Happy holidays. We have new balls coming from Utah in January. We do. January the 20th, we are getting the Absolute and the Revenant. I will have videos up for them on the 30th is the day that we can put them out. So looking
They're both
forward to
very
that.
good looking. They both
Yep.
look really cool in person.
Yep. New cover stateside and new core for the Absolute, and then Spectre recolor basically for the Revenant. Very catchy and aptly named.
Yes. I didn't catch that until you just pointed it out.
Mhm.
Yes. I agree with that. That was good on their part.
Yep. But for now, we do have the Fates out. The Exotic Gem released last Friday, I believe, the 9th. That's been a week and a half ago.
Yep.
I guess almost 2 weeks, a week and a half.
It feels like that ball's been out a long time already.
It's out. It hooks a bunch. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Stuff goes so fast now that it almost seems like they announce it. They announce stuff 5 weeks before they release it, and then they want us to start putting videos up. I mean, putting videos up and promoting stuff about 3 weeks before it releases.
Yep.
Because otherwise the buzz is. I mean, there's other stuff out to buy, and there's no reason to just hit it hot and heavy as soon as they announce it. So.
Yeah, you got to back off. You can't really do much until, like, what you said, 2 weeks before.
3 weeks before.
3 weeks.
So it comes out on the 20th. We can start putting videos up on the 30th. But we just had the Exotic Gem release. The Fate has only been out for a month now. So we've got other stuff, and then then before that the Zenu Night Road, all kinds of stuff. So plenty of other stuff that's already out that you can go buy. You can of course pre-order the new stuff, but at the same time they're still a month off, so no reason to go crazy about them yet.
I saw you throw the Zenu a little bit on Saturday. On
It
that
was
fun
good.
pattern.
Yeah, the shot was just tough.
It was
so
hard.
I think the Zenu gave me the best reaction I would have had really out of anything.
Yeah.
I could have executed a little bit better, and I was bad. I was worse on my spares when I went back and looked. I think I missed 2 or 3 7s, a 3-pin, a 6-pin, the first couple of 3-8s or 3-9s that I shot at. So my spares were rough. I could have finished quite a bit higher in the standings, or not. I think I went minus 105, which was really not bad considering, but it could have easily been like minus 20 or minus 30 if I'd have just picked up some spares. So
It's when you leave so many of them on a tough pattern like that, you're bound to miss some.
Yeah.
They were not fun, especially on the right side. They got so spotty down lane. So spotty down lane. Like, they hooked up a bunch when we started.
Yeah, we had there were 90 people there.
Yeah.
Or 80 people or something, 80, 85, 90, something like that. But the cut to the top 4 was Joe Bush at like plus 80 something.
I tip my cap at that. That's a big number on that.
So I mean that we're talking about something that's really tough. Like just going even was a success. So
you went even. You bowled well.
Yeah, that was
it. Like I said, it hooked so much at the beginning, and it just kind of got as they opened, not really opened up, but as transition happened, that on the right side, anyways, it's a lot of that urethane really going down lane made a difference, I think. But
yeah,
you couldn't really get right of it. You couldn't get left of it. So
yeah, we bowled on Sunset Strip the other day for 6 games, and it's just one of those patterns that just 40 feet. It's 3.5 to 1 or 4 to 1 or something like that. It's about 25 mils, so it's just right in that awful zone. We're a little bit longer, and you can throw stronger reactive stuff. A little bit shorter, you can throw urethane. So it's right in that zone where reactive stuff is hooking a little too much or is just a little too sensitive, or it's not quite hooking enough. And urethane is maybe not quite the right idea either. Chris Patrick wants me to Oak and Eden stuff is very, very cool. I like the Bourbon and Spire. It's more of a bourbony taste, but it's got a different flavor to it that I really think that the stave adds a lot to. It's some of them have charred, some of them have toasted staves in them. My brother said that there's even one that's like coffee infused or something that he wants to try out, but he hasn't found it yet.
Nice.
They have another wheat. They have a wheat one. They have a wheat and honey version, but yeah, it's just very cool. It's very, very good, and it's like $40 a bottle. So
That's not terrible at all.
it's not cheap. It's not the cheap stuff, but it's not the expensive stuff either. And this is the kind of stuff that I would want to keep around just as stock. Yeah, my stock sipper. Like I would want this around all the time, and then kind of fill it up with cheaper stuff if I want a mixer or
absolutely.
When I don't want to drink up my $80 or $100 bottles or something.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. And you mentioned urethane a second ago. Before I forget, I actually started with the Tank Blitz on Saturday.
Yeah.
Didn't throw it as long as I really thought I would, because once I just couldn't get corners out with it. So I think it was still a little too sharp, being it's not full of urethane. It still had a little more shape than what I should have been using at the time. The one ball I didn't pull out of my bag that I should have pulled out of my bag was an Obsession Tour, and I didn't look at it in practice. I'm kind of regretting it, but that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Zen U was, at first it was a little bit more shape than I wanted, but then when I kind of got lined up and got loosened up and got a little comfortable, it looked pretty good. And I probably could have gone like ProMotion or something, but the thing is that there was no forgiveness in the middle at all. If you got it up the lane at all, just bye-bye with everything. And the thing is that I could kind of peel the Zen U off the gutter.
Yep.
I had a little bit more forgiveness with the pitch black if I tugged it, but just zero left. If I got it a little bit too left, and if I played too square, the angles were tricky. So the Zen U actually let me bend it a little bit. And if I rolled it right, get it to actually peel off the gutter. So it was actually fairly comfortable. Just execution and picking up spares, but things are coming along. Things are coming along. So
that's why I looked right at you and said, I'm just going to erase this day from my memory and forget that I'm actually throwing it better, and we'll just move on. Because it was even corner pin city all day for everybody. I saw corner pins out the yin yang, and it's just, and I heard that it was worse on Sunday for certain people, but it was kind of nice just to grind my head against the wall and not bowl on Sunday. So take a little bit of a break for the holidays here, because there's not really anything to bowl. Well, I guess we got New Year's Day, but
we got we got the 30th. So they're not doing New Year's Day. They're doing the 30th Monday. And then the 2nd or something. So yeah, the Monday is the 2nd.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
So 30th is the Friday, right?
It might be the 31st then. They're doing the scratch tournament on either the 30th or the 31st. I would imagine it'd probably be on Saturday. Maybe not, since that's New Year's Day. They might actually be doing it on that Friday. I'll have to get back on and look.
I could see them doing New Year's Eve morning.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve morning.
That'd be fine. Nobody's really doing anything up until midnight anyway. So yeah, they are having a scratch tournament, and then they're having the New Year's doubles, which I'm going to bowl that, and then they have the women's tournament that Angel's not going to make on like the 13th or 14th or something like that. But our daughter's going to be in town, so we're not bowling anything. I'm not even sure we're bowling league while Chrissy's here, but we might come to league, or Thursday night anyway. But
and we're in Wichita that weekend, so Amanda's not bowling. That's also the mixed doubles weekend too. Raylan's got a gymnastics thing, but I am bowling in Wichita on Saturday.
Okay. You mentioned that. You said there was something cool down there to bowl.
Yeah, it's the Austin Bulls is running the Air Capital doubles. So I'm already down there. Dylan said something about bowling. We getting like 3 of us and doing like 3 or 4 squads and just bouncing around partners. So yeah, why not?
Yeah,
it's kind of like the GB doubles. Very similar.
Yeah,
3 games, but they do have the So you have fresh and then a burn squad, then a fresh squad, then a burn squad. So we'll have to bowl in the burn squad at least twice, and it's already North Rock, so you know how that's going to go
Yeah.
because it is a house shot, I believe.
Yeah. I am going to try to we didn't bowl a whole lot of tournaments towards the end of the year or the last several months, mostly because we donated a whole lot.
Yep.
But again, I'm going to try to get back into tournaments this year, and I'd like to make the top 36 again next year. And I think it's coming along. I think I'm at the point where it's still going to be not awesome on Sport Patterns or not awesome at Belton, period. Of course, there wasn't a whole lot of people that were happy at Belton on Saturday. So
Nope.
that notwithstanding, I think I'm at the point where I could actually be an asset for a righty on a house shot. So instead of just getting ran over by everybody, I think that I'm kind of at the point where I could start being a factor again on at least the house shot tournaments, the double stuff,
Yep.
and then I'm getting there on the other stuff. So I'd like to get back into the tournaments, and it was just fun to get out and bowl something because all we've done is, go to work, make YouTube videos, and then bowl league every week, and just getting back out to a tournament was a pretty fun day. So
It did feel like we hadn't bowled anything in a long time, and
yeah,
it was kind of nice. It just sucked that it was so impossible, but yeah, whatever.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm excited for bowl some stuff too coming up. January is going to be rough for me
yeah.
because Raylan's like really really busy with gymnastics in January, so that'll be tough. But Amanda will let me sneak in when I can and get some stuff in. So
Yeah, and they have so many tournaments now. They do 2 weekends a month
yep,
now. So I mean, instead of just it used to be that they'd have the regular tour of KC,
yep,
once a month, and then they do the holiday tournaments. But now everything's so popular, they get so many people to show up that they're
might as
going
well.
to a couple different towns, and then a lot of the stuff's at Belton. But Belton's a nice center. I like going there. It's kind of far away, but
I just hate the drive.
yeah, well, and there's a lot of people that drive 3 or 4 hours to get to tournaments and think that that's nothing. And we're sitting here going, gosh, an hour and a half,
Dylan drove back home on Saturday after we were done.
Yeah.
I told him I was like, "You're crazy," because they weren't bowling Sunday, so he drove all the way home
Yeah,
after a long day because it was a long day.
yeah.
At least I thought it was anyway. We didn't get home until almost 9 o'clock. So
But yeah,
go
they
ahead.
have
You got a question there?
they have so much stuff to bowl now that missing one here or there is not that big of a deal anymore. They
Nope.
used to, a couple of years ago they were running, I don't know, 20, 21, 22 tournaments a year. Now it's like 30 or
Yeah, it's
40 or something. So because we bowled, Angel and I each bowled like 16 or 17 tournaments, and we didn't go to half the stuff that they had this year. And especially,
Yep.
we didn't go to like the last 10 tournaments or something and still had 16 or 17 of them. So,
Oh, I had a bunch.
yeah, there's definitely plenty of tournaments to bowl. And so, sucks missing the ones that you don't want to miss, but at the same time, you save a little bit of money.
Yeah, I know
Well,
Amanda's pretty upset about missing the women's only one and the mixed doubles, but
yeah, Angel would like to hit the women's one too, but yeah, stuff. Would rather
yeah,
have our daughter here for a couple, but it's all good.
yep. I know Raylan's excited to see her too. So
Yeah.
go
Thank
ahead,
you,
you can answer.
Greco. Want to try some other companies' balls, but there's no one to describe their balls like you, so I just stick to SBI. Storm should be paying you. They do take really good care of me. They've got bigger fish to fry, and they make sure that I don't need or want for any equipment to make the videos with. So
We can hit the chat for a minute, and then you and I can get into our year-end review here in a little bit. People have been
yeah,
asking some questions in here, so we can't leave the people hanging.
yeah, there is such a thing as YouTube ad revenue, and then got a pretty good community that takes good care of me, so I'm good. I think I asked this in the past, but what's Anthony up to nowadays? I love Hawes to death, but Anthony was my OG guy. Yeah, we did have a pretty cool thing with Beer Frame back in the day. Anthony moved to Boston or close to Boston for a couple of years. Now he's actually back in Wichita. If you want to find him on Facebook, he's been shooting a bunch of big scores with stuff. He lost quite a bit of weight too. He's in real good shape, and he's putting numbers up, and Yeah, I don't see him a whole lot because he's in Wichita and we're busy and he's busy. But whenever we do make it down to Wichita for a tournament or something, we hang out. So
Yeah, I saw him here a couple weeks ago when we bowled in Topeka.
yeah, he's doing great.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, we'll catch up with the questions and then we will get into this year and then things for next year. So,
yep.
What do you guys think about the reality check compared to the dark code? I want a reality check, but not sure if I should drill it. You and I both have dark codes,
yep.
But neither of us have reality checks. But the reality check is longer and sharper, a fair amount longer and sharper than the dark code. I actually might get a reality check because I wanted one of them, but at the time I didn't need a reason to actually drill something. Angel got one and James got one, and they look pretty good for them. I think it'd probably roll pretty good for me, but it is longer and sharper than the dark code. So I think I think you definitely could. Now they're kind of in a similar zone from hook potential, but the dark code is earlier and smoother. Reality check's a little bit longer and sharper. Plus the shapes, the dark code's a little bit rounder, and the reality check is kind of phase 2-ish on the shape. And so I think if you don't want to, some people will be fine, or some people like different hook potentials and some people like different shapes. I like different shapes, and so having the overlap on the hook potential is not a worry for me. Having the two different shapes and the similar hook potential is fine. Some people don't really care about the shape. They just want to have different hook potentials, and so if you are a shape person, you'll be fine. If you're a hook potential person, there is some overlap on the overall hook. So
yeah, and on the dark code, don't let it be a rounder scare you. It's still punchy.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely rounder, though.
Fairbanks, Alaska?
Fairbanks,
Fairbanks, which is 6 hours away. Chris Leftwich, that was stationed here in, he's Navy, Coast Guard.
I think,
Coast Guard.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
He lived in Anchorage for almost a year or something. So, don't tell lies.
5.5, 6 hours. That's a haul. I don't know if I would consistently do that.
Not consistently. That's the thing, is like when we pack up to go to Tulsa's only 4.5 hours away. Springfield's 4.5 or something like that. And that feels like an eternity driving down there.
Yeah.
For
but
a
if
weekend,
it was like
for a weekend
tour KC stuff, I wouldn't do that. That's a lot of driving. Kind of like James flying out here from North Carolina. I thought that was just insane, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. We got great stuff to bowl with great bowlers, but man, that's commitment.
Brittany's got the doggo with her to watch the show. Sweet. Brian's been tempted to pull the trigger on an Infinite for about a week now. Can't seem to do it. The Infinite is very interesting because it's clean, but it's sharp, but it's round. It's kind of like a little bit stronger original Rubicon.
Yeah.
And it's really versatile, and I like it a lot. But sometimes it just wants to be a little too clean for whatever reason. Sometimes it just wants to overshoot the spot, but most of the time it's a freaking beast. So
it looks good.
Yeah, it's one of the better balls. It was actually down to that or the Cosmos for my ball of the year, and I ended up going with the Cosmos because it's just I don't need asymmetric stuff much on the left. Everything I can get stuff to turn. I actually went out and filmed for a bunch of for a bunch of overseas stuff on Sunday to do some reviews, and my Hustle Pink was turning sideways on chromium, so I definitely don't really need asymmetric stuff very often at all.
Amanda still throws the crap out of her OG Rubicon, so
yeah, she was throwing that and the gem on Saturday. I saw, or no, the UFO.
She throws a lot. She was very fried out over Saturday, but
it was tough. I think Dylan only went like plus 20, so
about that, yeah.
So yeah, it was. I mean, it was just rough for the good bowlers, let alone the
mediocre ones.
Yeah.
I get a reality check every time I go bowling. That's good. That's pretty good. Touche.
Got my MVP. Oh yes, got my MVPs on Saturday. Austin had the attitude drill. Looks amazing. Fits right between X1, X2. PSO loved it. Sweet. Thanks for
Awesome.
again contributing to the cause for the doggos.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We were able to send them a bunch of money. So
Time for a refill.
yep.
My ice cubes, my ones that are from the freezer, they aren't cold anymore.
Ah, just picked that as my doggo ball raffle ball.
Sweet.
Yep. Yeah, we have stacked fields out there. I was
Yes, sir.
surprised that we didn't have a Packy or a Spencer or a Zach Wilkins sighting. Those guys have been pretty regular.
Zach was there.
But yeah, I guess he was just on the other end of the building.
Spencer and Zach were both there, I believe.
Oh, I never saw Spencer.
Spencer's like on the very high end.
Yeah, so somebody said that they saw him, but I just never. I don't know.
Yep.
I never saw him walking around. I guess so.
He was there, and then Zach Wilkins was there too. Yeah, Wilkins actually won Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I did see that.
Won
Yeah, well,
doubles and
he won both. Yeah, he won both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see Packy and then Ryan Barnes and which not Brandon Bone, Justin Bone.
Justin Bone. We see Frankie a lot.
Yeah,
He's in Canada right now, so we haven't seen him much.
Mm-hmm.
Probably spending time at home while he can, because the tour's going to start back up.
Yeah, most of Wichita State. TJ Rock is up here a lot too. So yeah, we've got some pretty stiff competition. So we've got the names before you even get into the regular guys like Austin Bolds and Dilla Burns and Trevor. That Alex George makes them every once in a while. He shot 850 at nationals this year.
She's got Trevor and Dylan that seem like they win every doubles tournament.
Yeah. So
even with those fields.
it's just such a stacked. I mean, so I don't have to go to a regional to get the regional competitive experience. We can just go bowl one of our KC tournaments and kind of get an idea without having to do the PBA thing.
Oh yeah, I told Zach Wilkins he could. I'd tell him to move back to Canada and get away from us, but I have Trevor and Dylan still win anyway. Just shipped y'all some local beers. I'm sorry in advance, Hawes. Oh, you know what? Everybody loves me, but they want to torture me. Love you all too.
Sours.
Oh, just like to see the faces.
Yeah. What weight ball for a beginner female bowler? She uses 10-pound house balls, but it's time to get her own. The house balls will not fit, and so I normally recommend to people to go up 2 pounds. So if they were using a 10-pound house ball, once she gets something that fits her, it won't feel as heavy because she won't have to grip onto it so much. And so she should be able to handle 12 just fine. And then you might even be ready to bump her up to 13 or 14 pretty quickly too, because I would imagine that
she'll build up strength pretty quick.
Yeah, she'll get used to it, and then she'll be winging it down there. That's what I always recommended people do with kids is, as soon as they get close to outgrowing something, just going ahead and bump them up a couple pounds. Don't even mess with going from like 10 to 11, 11 to 12, whatever else. Even if it's a little heavy for them for a couple weeks, they'll pick it up like that. And so it might be a little heavy for a couple weeks, but she'll get used to it really quick and probably be able to move on pretty quickly too.
Good question.
Should I pull the trigger on the Dark Moss from the ball up from the high road, or would waiting on the Revenant fill that spot better and be worth the wait? The Dark Moss isn't really a full step up from the high road. It's more like half step, because the Wolverine Dark Moss basically has the high road pearl cover and a little bit stronger core. So you would have to go probably up to the Revenant might be. It's still awful close. The Revenant's cover is stronger than the Dark Moss's cover. It's R3S instead of R2S.
It's got smaller cores, all right?
No, it's about the same strength core as the Dark Moss, just a little bit stronger cover. I'm just not sure that it's strong enough to be that big of a difference from a high road. You almost might have to go up to something like a Zen or a Phase 5. A Phase 5 might be a better step up from a high road, because even though it's still got R2S Pearl, a lot stronger core, a lot lower RG, going to rev up more. And so I think the Phase 5 would probably be a better step up over either the Revenant or the Dark Moss. So I would probably be looking at a phase 5, and then even if you want to go a little bit stronger than that, a Zen Soul, something like that. So good to hear he got his MVP. So we know that that Luke isn't a scammer. Yeah, we started sending some stuff out. We got all the stuff that we had out. Now we're putting an order together for everybody that got the pick your choice balls and whatever else. So
Cool.
we are making our way through getting stuff out. So
Same. A few more in there. What's up, y'all? Love the sport. What's
mm-hmm.
We do too. It also frustrates us. Don't know why, but my phase 2 kind of died on me. Threw my first 300 with it during my first sanctioned league this year in November too, so I don't want to give up on it. I can understand that. You could also maybe resurface, maybe.
Yeah, you might just have to put the surface back on it or get it detoxed. You might have soaked up a bunch of oil, and all you have to do is get that stuff sucked out, and it'll be good to go again. So,
Yep. Facts.
and James already said it. Hi.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And there it
Awesome.
is.
Yeah. Okay. So about the ball for the girlfriend, I was thinking 12. Yep. I would go with that.
Perfect. And then on a fun note, Luke and I are both back with Cool Week again for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
forgot to mention that at the top of the show.
Just sent the contract back. I'm also I re-up for kind of given at this point, but I did re-up with Storm again for 2023. So continuing the reviews and all the stuff. So
They don't hate us too much, so that's a good thing.
yeah.
Ball of the year for you guys and why? Mine was a Defender hybrid. It's a shape in my bag that I haven't had in a while, and it is really, really, really good. That's the best way to tell you.
Yeah, and
it's a brand new cover that they haven't used either. So
yeah, the HK22.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be pretty good. They've used that on a couple balls now, but or not, maybe not the hybrid, but that, and then the Brutal Collision has it on there. So yeah, it looks like pretty good stuff so far.
Yep, I really like it. It goes with me everywhere I go now, and that's honest truth.
Mine is the Idle Cosmos. It's strong, but it's also it's like a big IQ Tour, or like a little bit bigger IQ Tour Nano Pearl. So it hooks, but it's also pretty controllable. I can move all over the place with it. I can play a little bit straighter with it. I can move in and get it to shape. It's one of those things where it can be smooth, but it can also be fairly responsive. It looks good on house shots, looks good on sport patterns. It's just one of those kind of all-purpose balls that does whatever you really need it to. So that's why I picked it. I need to actually order more of them.
It's green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks really sharp too, so that helps.
My favorite color. I do. I like the pearl shiny green on it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
the silvery.
Yeah, I like it.
So, yep. All right, a couple more questions. Looking for asymmetrical fresh ball house shot righty tweener. Reality.
Yeah.
Asymmetrical. Reality is a popular choice because it does hook, but it's also got quite a bit of shape to it too. So.
Yep. Crazy day. Oh, good evening, dudes. Crazy day with some changing travel plans. I'm about to have pizza and chalky milk for dinner, so winning stuff. That sounds like a great meal, actually.
Keto cheat.
I literally had ramen noodles for dinner because I had to eat quick.
We've done something. So we get one of those rotisserie chickens from Sam's that's like $7 or something. And then we make some white rice and get some cream of mushroom soup, and kind of just pick the chicken off, and we have rice and cream of mushroom, and just put the chicken on it, and eat it like that. And so it costs nothing, and we can eat on it for like 4 or 5 days.
That sounds good.
So just a can of cream of mushroom, a $7 rotisserie chicken, and some rice, and it's great. We can eat on it forever.
That sounds good.
Used to be a golf nerd. Bowling's my new addiction. I'd like to be more of a golf nerd. We're gonna have to make that happen this year.
Yeah, I'm fine to play as much golf as you want, but with minus 40-degree wind chills Thursday and Friday, it doesn't make me want to play golf at all.
Yeah, we might have to start trying to make like Forbes a thing every other Friday or every other Friday night. Go play that Twilight special. It's all you can play for what, $10?
Yeah, I'm totally fine with
From
that.
like after 4 or 4:30 or something like that.
Shoot, that one night with you, me, and Woody, we played like
We didn't
got
play
it.
15, yeah, we played like 15 or 16. We didn't quite get a full 18 in, but
We could have got it in. We just ran out a little bit of time, so
mhm,
it was fun. But then we turned around and played golf the next day, though. So,
yeah.
did
So,
we
but
catch
using my
everything?
Cosmos and Dark Code, what would your favorite ball be? Righty? Promotion, Taboo, going way back.
Gas
Extractor.
mask.
Yeah, the Infinite that I drilled is pretty good too. So that'd be high up on the list.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you drilled a few righty. I always forget about that.
Yeah, I'm about to forget pretty quick too. Just shot 760 with my IQ tour last week and one blind draw. I need to drill another one of those actually.
I probably wouldn't hurt for me to have another one.
Yeah.
I kind of want to drill another IQ Tour and a Phase 2
Mm.
and an RSTX3. Those are the 3 balls on my list I really want right now.
I need to throw my existing Phase 2 a little bit more and get it calmed down. I haven't thrown it because it hooks off the planet, but the only way to keep it from hooking off the planet is to actually break it in. So
the original one, only one I've ever had. I put 1,000,000 games on that damn thing.
yeah. Cauliflower crust pizza and chalky milk is sweetened with erythritol. So erythritol,
In your face.
stevia, yeah.
Quit in September after a couple of 50s on 9 holes.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Revenant will be coming on December 30th.
Yeah, I got to hold off on that.
Yeah, they don't really want us to start promoting it too early. It's still another month until it comes out. So I can start talking about it on the 30th. So until then,
stay tuned.
First shot, put a generic layout on it. Yeah, pin about an inch above my right ring finger. That's a lazy layout, but it's also a fairly versatile one. If you don't know what's going on, if you don't know somebody's axis point, it's a pretty safe layout. So righty two-hander bolt. Yeah, you should have had like a 2LS layout. So
yeah,
because that's basically a pin down ball.
Ugh.
So anyway, all right, let's get into
Let me get my list.
So yeah, Jonathan's got a list. We'll talk about. We'll recap 2022. It was a long year. It felt
weird.
Yeah, weird year. We were actually still wearing masks at the beginning of the year. It seems like it's been such a long time, but yeah, we were still wearing masks most places at the beginning of the year.
Us specifically, the only place that we didn't ever have to wear a mask was in Belton.
Yeah.
And I explained this actually in a conversation earlier today about, and people wonder why, like, did you notice how cheap the gas was at Byron's in Belton?
Mm-hmm.
It's because actually from there to like Grandview, it's actually split. There's 2 different counties. Mm-hmm. So Belton is Cass County and Grandview area is Jackson County. Mm-hmm. So and maybe they tax a little differently out there with gas. I don't know. But let's start with, let me pull up my notes here. Let's start with the one everybody likes to talk about, and the SPI versus USBC ball craziness. That was 2022. Good thing you're drinking that right now.
Yeah, he said with a winter storm coming, you got to get the Midwest Classic, loaf of bread, gallon of milk, and a bottle of liquor.
We're set. But thoughts, once again, on as we've come to where we are now on the SPI versus USBC ball craziness.
Yeah, that was weird.
2022, in my opinion, bowling was drunk.
Yeah, I think I don't know if people wanted to kind of blame Sean Rash for that because they had the whole Purple Hammer softness thing that did end up getting addressed. They ended up banning a couple certain years that they found that the balls were oddly too soft. So they banned a couple years manufacturing of the Purple Hammer. They didn't ban the ball. They just banned those couple years. And then the PBA set a rule that, urethane balls get softer as they age. Yep. And so anytime a ball is more than 2 years out from its manufacture date, not the specific model of the ball, just the ball itself from when it was manufactured, they have to stop using those. And then, Sean Rash made a comment about integrity on a show one time. And then a couple weeks later, the Spectre gets banned. And then a couple weeks after that, the other 6 more balls got lightly restricted, which I don't think was the right way to handle it. Either they're illegal or they're not.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
agree.
make a whole lot of sense to say, well, you can't use them. They're unfair to use in these certain tournaments, but you can still go bowl league with them, which at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that, again, people say sanctioned like it's some big deal.
Yeah.
It's really not that big of a deal. It's just, I mean, most leagues are on a house shot, they're recreational. So just because they're sanctioned / governed by the USBC doesn't mean that it's like official big competition or anything.
Yeah, no, I agreed. And that's the other thing too is, with Sean Rash, for example, the people made a big deal about what he said on TV and getting in trouble for it. But, what he said on TV actually worked. I mean, something got done about it.
Yeah.
Tell me
And
I'm wrong.
people will vilify uh, individuals that speak out about against something, but at some point, somebody has to say something. Stuff can't keep getting swept under the rug just to save somebody some money or save somebody some reputation or something or other. Sometimes you got to say stuff, and
Yeah.
Sean Rash has really never been afraid to say stuff, and a lot of people don't like him for it. But I
In my
mean,
opinion, he
he's at
felt
least
the
got
way.
the berries to come out
Yeah.
with it.
In my opinion, I think he felt like the best way for him to get anything done about it is by saying it on national TV. I
Hmm.
mean, because I guarantee you, people have complained and moaned, complained some more about it behind the scenes to Tom Clark and whoever else. And he felt like, with the situation that was happening on TV, he felt like it was the right time and place to say it. And it worked.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
people may not like the way he said it and the way he came across, but I'm sorry. It served its purpose.
yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of the times with a lot of things where people grumble behind the scenes,
Yep.
and then as soon as somebody speaks up, then it's like, oh gosh, well, you're the, you know, we haven't heard about this before. It's like, well, yeah, everybody's been talking about it. It's just nobody's actually had the berries to come out and say something.
Agreed.
So, yeah, nothing like seeing a lefty on TV with 4 purple hammers on the rack. I resemble that remark. I actually took 2 differently drilled pitch blacks to the tournament on Saturday. Never thought
Really?
I'd see the day, but as a lefty, it's an absolute must. And the Zen U is kind of like a slightly urethane phase 2. It
See, I
does
see
actually
it
shape
similar
pretty
to a
nice.
carbide tank. I look
Yeah.
at the ZU like a carbide tank.
Hmm.
I see a lot of similarities in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's
Yeah.
urethane, but not really urethane now. And so that's the other thing that's making it tricky is
Yeah.
that companies are starting to come out with this stuff that they call urethane, but that's not actually urethane. The pitch black is urethane.
Yeah.
The carbide tank is not urethane. The
Microsoft.
microcell polymer is supposed to be very urethane-y. The Zen U is urethane, but it's really not urethane. It's got it's actually sharper than some of my reactive stuff. Amazing ball, by the way. I really like it quite a bit. I can't use it a whole lot. I could probably use it a whole lot more than I actually do, but
I think I definitely see it very similar to the way Motive has the microcell polymer stuff. It very similar to me. I want the blue
yeah,
tank. I think the blue tank is gone actually. I believe
yeah,
they
I think
just
so.
good luck getting one, but you can get one. You just have to pay for it a little bit. But yeah, they just discoded, I think.
Hmm.
But that's the one thing that impressed me about the Zen U is it gave me the MCP vibes.
Yeah,
So
and I think it could be the thing about it. Urethane works so much better on the left because we don't have a track, and so urethane starts up a whole lot earlier on the right and is
mhm.
smoother on the left. That's why you see Buttriff bending a purple hammer shape's pretty good for righties, but it's so much better for lefties. I mean, he can bend it from third arrow. Jesper Svensson can get a pitch black to make it look like it has back end. And I can get a pitch black to shape really nice, a whole lot better. It looks a whole lot better on the left than it does on the right. And then something like the Zen U is even better. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like the perfect blend. It's even better than a ProMotion as far as that's concerned. I really
Yeah.
like the ProMotion because it was kind of like a urethane type look on the right. It's even a little bit sharp sometimes. Like I couldn't throw it at Nationals this year. I had to throw a pitch black. If I'd had a Zen U at Nationals this year, I would have done quite a bit better, I think. But yeah, it's a little bit different animal. But I think the Zen U is sharp enough that it can give a more the Zen U, I think, on the right, unless depends on who you watch. If you're watching like a Jarrah Raymond or Darren Tang who are hooking the entire lane with one, it's a little bit more than like a pitch black for a lefty on the right side, but it's good.
I think you're going to see a lot of Zen U's going down the lane when the tour season gets started back up here in the next few weeks. It
Yeah,
just because it gives them something. Granted, I know the UC3 is out there, but it gives the guys on tour such a different look than what they've had with something like that. So I mean, because UC3 is shiny, right? Yeah, it's shiny.
Well, the
So
UC3 actually comes at 1,000 grit, but I think I've had so many people. I actually had somebody come up to me on Saturday at the tournament that said, "Hey, I got one of these," and Wes Edwards drilled it for him and put kind of a different layout on it. And he said, "Just trust me on it." He's like, "Well, I used it for a few months. And it was like whatever. And then I saw your video about polishing it." He's like, "I polished it, and it's a totally different animal." And so yeah, it's just the UC3 is another one that's not urethane, but it's just a ridiculously good ball.
not saying all the lefties are going to throw it, but I can definitely see like the righties, a lot of the right-handed
Mm-hmm.
guys throwing the crap out of the Zen U's.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
just my personal opinion. Let me look at our next topic since we kind of touched base on that. So to recap that, yes, the silliness that we both agree on the silliness of partially banning a bowling ball.
Yeah.
Um, what else we got here? One of them's kind of the same thing that kind of tied together. We can take time to recognize too because we got the tour season starting back up here. As Bilmo also won his 7th Player of the Year this year,
Yep.
which is absolutely bonkers in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
considering what he does. It probably never turned many bowls, but
well, I don't really care so much about some people don't like the two-handed thing, but EJ Tackett gets every bit as much on it as Belmo does. Robert Smith, for me, was the original two-hander because he just did nasty stuff. Granted, it was one hand, and Marshall Holman, we had him on the breakdown pair, or not the bowler show about a month ago, and he mentioned something about clearing the thumb. It's a little bit different to when you don't have the thumb in the ball, in which you get nervous or you tend to, try to be too nice to the ball or grip it a little bit too much. Two-handers can do the same thing. It just they don't have the thumb in there to kind of lock them up and screw with them. But at the same time, you can see lefties. If you get nervous, nerves affect everybody, no matter what you're doing.
Correct.
I mean, like the PGA and belly putters. Yes, it did anchor the putter a little bit better, but you still had to know what you were doing. You still have to make accurate putts. And if you're nervous, your tempo could be off, the speed could be off. You could hit it one way or the other just because you have it anchored a little bit more. Sure, maybe a little bit of a competitive advantage. And some could argue that not having the thumb in the ball is just, even if it's just a little bit, it's that extra little bit more of anything that you can do at that level. Little differences make a big difference.
Yep.
Once you get to that level. But at the same time, there's lots of other two-handers that aren't doing what Belmo's doing. There's several that are really good. Kyle Troop, Anthony Simonson, but there's a lot of two-handers out there. Maldonado hasn't won a whole lot. Oscar Palermo hasn't won a whole lot.
Russo.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of them. Svensson was hot there for a while, but we haven't seen much out of him here recently. So the one-handers are still winning plenty. I mean, Chris Vi is starting to take off, but we still see a lot of Chris Prather, Frankie, Brad Miller keeps making shows. We still see plenty of. I mean, Norm Duke was still a factor.
I was very shocked, to be honest with you, that Normie called it quits.
Yeah,
because I still thought he was very competitive.
Especially calling it quits.
Yeah.
Now he is 60, and Angel and I are starting to feel just being 40. It just getting out to film and then getting done with filming. I think it's a little bit harder on her than it is on me. But of course, we sit all the time too. We're not actually doing stuff a whole lot, but you can start to feel it in your knees get a little stiff, or your back gets stiff, or it's harder to loosen up, and then you end up getting stiffer when you're done. And so it's not bad. It's just noticeable.
Yeah, I actually could tell Sunday. Funny, I know we only bowled six, and I've bowled so many big long blocks in the past, but it has been a while since even bowling six consecutive like that. I actually hurt quite a
Mhm.
bit on Sunday.
Well, I don't get sore so much. I'm noticing that energy is a little bit of a problem. I
Yeah,
started getting kind of, and part of it was, I got tapped a bunch in that last game, and I'm kind of, everybody got paid. And so I'm kind of thinking, well, I'm going to get my $25 back,
yeah,
or whatever. And at this point, and so my head was out of it a little bit, but I started getting a little bit tired towards the end of the thing. And it didn't used to be a problem
yep.
to put 6 games in, and 6 games sometimes feels short
It does.
because we have a lot of 8 gamers too.
Yep.
They'll do the 8 gamers of singles on holidays, and then all the doubles tournaments are 8 gamers. And anymore, 6 games is kind of like, oh, we're done already.
Yep.
But yeah, so and then out filming too, energies get towards the end of a filming session, and energy didn't used to be a problem, and now it's a little bit of a problem. So
Yeah, I completely understand that. Uh, the older and older you get, the more and more it starts to hurt. But
yeah,
fun fact, you brought the name Robert Smith up earlier, and I just had to bring a memory up. I will never forget the CLR Windy City Classic that he won, where he was lofting the gutter cap.
yeah,
It was so sexy. I'm sorry, you just to win a title doing that. People back then, it was lofting wasn't what it is now,
yeah.
and people are like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is just what is he doing?" And it was just amazing what he could do that, and with the confidence that he had to doing it on TV to win a title.
Yeah. And what's
God, he
really
threw it
interesting,
so hard.
I would really like to talk to Robert. Actually, I wish we could have gotten him on a bowler show. But he was out on, I mean, he was the big rev guy, just big power guy out on tour for a while. And then he started having some wrist problems. He moved to Japan for a few years. He actually was two-handed for a couple years. And then he got his issues sorted out, and he's right-handed again. And we saw him at Nationals this year. My God, he's the best he's ever been. He's quieted stuff down a lot. He still has the revs, he still has the power, but now he's got the finesse and the control, and it is
Yeah,
dirty.
he's old.
Absolutely dirty what this guy is doing at 45 or 50 or whatever the crap he is now. I would hope to see him out on the, I don't think he's 50 yet, but I would hope to see him out on the PBA 50 tour
Oh, he'll win a
when
lot.
he gets eligible. I mean, he is filthy. If you thought he was good before, I mean, he's, my God. I have to think about anybody that actually throws it better than he does right now. Dirty,
I
just
mean,
mad.
whenever he would make a
Racer.
show, you see he made a show for the week. It's
Mm,
much watch. It's must if I could speak much watch TV or most watch. God, there you know what I mean. Must
must
watch.
watch.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I can't talk. It's
yeah.
must watch TV. So is just so entertaining. Like what he would do. I'm watching him hook an entire lane on PBA patterns. It was just hilarious.
Mm.
Nobody else could do that. I mean, the fact that he's got a U.S. Open title with as hard as he throws it and everything else back then, it's just amazing.
It's much harder to hit your target two-handed. I notice a lot of people that try to bowl two-handed, and I think that they would be better off. I think it's almost harder to learn two-handed. I think once you get
Yeah.
good with it,
Mhm.
it's fine. But you have the problem where you always got more revs than you have speed for like forever. That's the biggest problem, is actually getting a ball down the lane once you start two-handed. I've thought about trying the right-handed one-hand thing is not ever going to be a thing. I messed around with that and I tried again, and then that's only reinforced me going left-handed, and the left-handed things turned around quite a bit here in the last couple months. But I've actually thought about going two-handed, right-handed, trying to try it out. The speed, oh my God, this trying to actually get speed on the ball throwing it two-handed is insanely difficult. And I noticed that from a lot of people then when they start bowling two-handed, they have to throw plastic, urethane, whatever else, because they just can't get anything down the lane.
Yeah.
So Brian Valenta was another one. He was Illinois, something like that. We had him at some KC tournaments. I remember seeing him down here a couple times.
I actually crossed with him in multiple regionals in the past before. He's actually a really good guy.
Yeah, he's great and very, very good at lofting.
Yes,
you want to talk about somebody that's good at lofting? The sooner he can get to lofting 10 feet and playing fifth arrow, sixth arrow, whatever else, the better. And that's actually how he won. I think he's only got one title, but he won on like Dragon or something, and he was lofting.
I thought he lost the finals.
He's won one tournament, I think, and he did it lofting.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch. So because back then in those days, two-handed still wasn't a common thing. So, and he just turned the ever living crap out of it.
Yeah.
But while we're discussing your review, let's be honest. Most of my notes here, we can kind of stop and even really do chat stuff. We can talk about goals because the year in review is pretty much the year 2022 in bowling was the year of hardness.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about everything that went down with the SPI versus USBC, the USBC on the Purple Hammer and the urethane balls, the PBA making their change with the urethane. We talked a little bit about that. The integrity in 1 day Sean Rash suspension. We brought that up a little bit. The PBA League was announced this year, as always. You got the PBA announcing their schedule that came out this year, and you and I both agreed that we thought the schedule actually looked pretty good. It's a lot better than what the women's released.
And then televising the match play for the majors. I think that is
going to be a game changer for the PBA. Mark my words. I'm really curious to see how they present that and broadcast it. I'm really hoping they do the golf stuff like David Faraday, with talking real soft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Be on the approach.
Yeah.
the wind's blowing left to right.
Yeah. God, I could have swore that Valenta won a tournament. Maybe he lost it, but he did have.
Yeah, he lost the final. I think that was the only final he made. I do remember watching it. That was, if I remember right, wasn't that in Oklahoma, Johnny? And when they did,
he doesn't have any titles.
It was it was on the arena show. I thought.
God, I sure thought
one of the ones at Shawnee.
Yeah,
I knew he's won a regional. I knew that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got some regionals, but I thought he won that show.
See, I don't think Rob and Randy are going to do the. I don't think they'll be the ones that do the match play. They might be. Flanagan said that he's going to be doing a lot with the PBA on Bull TV, so we have that going for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really looking forward to see how they present things when it comes to the match play. I think like I said, I think it's a game changer for them. It's going to be a different thing that we haven't really seen before, and it's going to open up a totally different audience for people that actually sit down and watch it and realize what they're watching, because the match play in the PBA tournaments leading up to TV is must watch. So, especially when there are majors on the line. If you couldn't tell, I'm a big PBA fan.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph for sure, Randy, no chance. Gosh, I hope not. I can hear it right now. Randy, somebody throws a strike in match play, and all I hear is, "That's dirtier than a gas station bathroom."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember bowling.
Went out for a burger and fries and came back with a steak and a baked potato.
Or we can get us some Dave Ryan, 60 feet to success.
Yep.
Does the yo-yo effect require a bent elbow? That's a good question.
Not necessarily. Kind of a bent wrist, but yeah, it does. It does kind of help. EJ Tackett's probably the best at it.
So, kind of recap that. Yeah, 2022 is basically drunk in regards to ball hardness. Everybody had butted heads over ball hardness. Well, SPI and USBC butted head over ball hardness, and then of course Brunswick had their issues with the Purple Hammer softness. But yeah.
Storm tested plenty of them, never found a problem, and then they showed they had the durometer testing to show that the polish contaminated the needle.
Yep.
But again,
the video's still out there to watch.
Yeah, I mean, USBC did what they did, and Storm presented their findings, and USBC didn't really care. and it's kind of a volatile test. It is relevant because whatever you think about creating the difference, Hicklin did some of his own testing and spent a lot of money on it, a lot of time on it. And I do understand softness. Softness affects ball reaction much differently than surface does. A harder ball, you put surface on it, it just doesn't interact with the lane the same way that a softer ball does. I mean, this is why bowlers way back when in the 70s, 80s, whatever else, used to soak their balls in acetone to get them softer, and so that they would have a bigger footprint on the lane. They'd have more consistency, more blend, whatever else. And the Spectre was amazing. Part of that might have been the hardness. I don't know. Urethane balls, as they age, again, they get softer, and softer stuff just is more consistent, more forgiving, more blendy, whatever else. But there's been plenty of other stuff that was good that wasn't soft. So, I mean, there's plenty of. I know that motive balls aren't anywhere near the hardness limit. I mean,
No.
they're definitely, you can tell just by looking at them, throwing them, whatever else, that motive balls are harder than other stuff that's out there. It's something about, it's hard to explain, but it's something about the reaction. It's longer, quicker, maybe not as forgiving, whatever else, but there's some ridiculously good motive stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with surfaces and cover stock formulas. Some of the cleaner, sharper formulas, like I don't think that R2S would be very good, R3S maybe at a higher hardness, but some other stuff, I think you could up the hardness on some of the stronger formulas, and be just fine.
Yeah. Another one. Thank you, Brittany. Another one that happened in 2022 is Big Bowling went under.
Mm.
Big Bowling went under as an unfortunate bad timing. Just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They may not have made the greatest product. I don't know. I've never thrown it, so I'm not going to judge it on that. But they very much so were a matter of bad timing. Would you agree?
Yeah, they started up, or they started ramping up. They got ready to release stuff, and then COVID happened,
Just
and
right away.
that kind of ruined them. They
Yep.
actually did make some good stuff. Rhino and Trevor, good friends. Rhino actually lived with them, lived with the
Yep.
Baumgartners for a couple of years while he was going to KU. They got to be really good friends because Trevor's a lefty too, and so Rhino helped him out quite a bit. He had Trent and Trevor up to a show that he was on in Chicago one time, I think.
In
And
Nebraska.
so, yeah, and Rhino was with Big, and he sent Trevor a couple cases of stuff to try it out and promote it a little bit, get his feedback, and some of them were really good.
Yeah. Some of the
I think
original stuff was not bad.
I think I don't think Trevor liked either of the ideas, but he liked the shim and the shim wrecker.
The Shim
He
and
liked
Shim record he threw a lot of. Yes.
he liked those quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
He did.
rumor has it that Victor Marion is with Brunswick now. I've heard
Really?
kind of a little bit of the scuttlebutt, and people are saying that's where HK22 came from, actually.
I think I have heard that now that you say that.
That's been floating around on the grapevine. Of course, Victor Marion was I think NRG came out. He was involved with the virtual gravity, which was a
Mm-hmm.
huge ball for Storm. He was involved in a lot of their big stuff, kind of the early 2010s.
He hit some home runs.
And then I think he quit in 2015-ish, 2016-ish, something like that. And then he started working on Big Bowling, and then that just, again, terrible timing. Really, really unfortunate. But Victor Marion knows what he's doing, and if he has anything to do with Brunswick, they're going to be making some good stuff. And if he is behind HK22, that's why that stuff's been so good.
If like you said, just to piggyback off that, if Victor Marion is making stuff for Brunswick, then they are going to release some bangers. That's for dang sure.
Yeah,
That's a home run for them.
Storm's really found something with Alex Hoskins too.
Yeah, they have. I agree with that.
They discovered NEX
Yep.
under Alex and Hank Boomershine. and those are the two that's kind of their R&D team now. Hank's got a bunch of experience. He's really good with ball motion. Alex has really taken a shine to the chemistry of it, and they developed NEX, and NEX has been a ridiculous cover stock, and they've been putting REX on everything now.
I've noticed that too.
Like Grandma and Frank's Red Hot.
Is Chad not a part of R&D anymore?
Chad is the technical director, and so he's kind of he's like the new Steve Klompkin.
Okay.
Steve Klompkin's like the vice president of something now. But Chad took over as the technical director. Alex is their Victor Marion now, basically, and Hank Boomershine assists there as well. And NEX is amazing. They also the spec too that some people don't like. It's amazing on the Pro Motion, the Crux Prime. It's terrible on the Gravity Evolve. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm gonna see how good it is on the Strong Bite. I'm excited about this.
It's on the Sunstorm as well, right?
Yeah, it's on the Sunstorm. Everybody that's thrown a Sunstorm, actually, Angel got gifted one for Christmas. Let me pull it out and show everybody.
Is she throwing it yet?
No, she's not going to drill it for a while. It's too pretty to drill.
It's not as yellow as I thought. It's a different colored yellow.
You see the picture on the website, and it looks like some dingy kind of 70s yellow.
Yeah.
This is a different story.
Yeah, it surprised me on the color a little bit because it wasn't like it was a little lighter yellow than what I was expecting. But
this smells. This also smells like the original phase, the first one, that lemon scent, lemon tart, whatever. This is lemon meringue. Oh my god,
mustard yellow. Yeah, that's accurate.
Ever. Yeah, this is different. Like, this is a very, very bright, vibrant yellow. This just is amazing. It's definitely not anywhere close to 4000 grit or 4K fast or whatever crap it's supposed to be. This is shiny.
See, I thought it looked shinier.
Oh my god.
Not completely shiny, but it definitely looks shinier.
Amaze balls. Luis did a review, and he liked it quite a bit better at 2000 grit.
That makes sense.
Maybe in Vegas.
Yeah, doesn't everything hook out there?
Everything hooks out there, but I can imagine it just kind of bogging down at that surface there. Spec is I like Spec lane shine quite a bit better. On the Crux Prime, a little different story. I like it with some surface on the Prime, but on the Pro Motion, just let it lane shine and throw it for 50 games, and it's a beast.
Somebody asked a question here. Do the Storm guys develop the cores and covers for sister companies?
Yeah. For Roto and Global, it's all Storm formulas.
Yeah.
They call them something different, but they also tweak them a little bit. Like VTC on the Hustles and Hypes is close to Reactor, but I think that Schlemm normally ups the strength a little bit more. So E-Trax is fairly similar to R2S, R3S. And then Microtrax is a stronger version of NRG. Extreme Trax is REX, kind of, but a little bit stronger.
Yep.
And then they have another one called Hyper Response that's NEX.
Cracker Brilliant for the win. See the quote?
Yeah. Yep.
Somebody's watched our intro.
Yeah, Angel wants to thank our community for pulling together to gift her with the Sunstorm. They got me a freaking computer, so
it's pretty cool.
I don't know. Yeah.
It wasn't bowling. Is there anything else you'd rather be doing? Anything? Literally
anything else.
Somebody definitely watches the intro and outro.
Yeah. What's the story with the scents and the storm balls? Well, bowling balls used to smell awful, especially when they had the rubber balls. I've drilled a couple of rubber balls, and it smells like burning tires. And so it's actually a practical reason, and especially now the Motive and Brunswick stuff, that's what's really funny is that Riley didn't re-sign
Yeah.
with Motive this year, and so it's going to be an interesting change for him to to have balls not smell like paint and permanent markers, and so he's actually going to have stuff smell good. Well, that was kind of the point for Storm to begin with, was that pro shops smelled awful in the 70s and 80s because you're drilling rubber balls and all kinds of other stuff that just smells like crap and chemicals and whatever else. And so he's like, well, if I make the stuff scented, then it'll actually smell good. And so
It's a marketing play, right?
that's where it started. Now it's a marketing thing because they add all kinds of different scents. Originally, it was a kind of a practical reason, almost. So
Honestly, I'm surprised that Storm doesn't do it with roto stuff and the global stuff, since that's their niche.
I am kind of surprised, but it's kind of Storm's thing. I think it would be great to extend it to Roto and 900 Global, but there are some people that don't like the scent. And as odd as it sounds, some people with some allergies to things can't have certain scented balls because they have a little bit of an allergic reaction to some of the stuff. And some people just really don't like the scent of certain things.
Like the emerald that I used to have, the IQ emerald.
Odd,
I love the green. I love the ball. But man, did that wintergreen or whatever it smelled like, did it stank? Because it was so strong that I literally would have it in my hands and I could still smell it. And I'm like, oh, that.
Yeah.
I can't.
And I think some people, it's better for some people to have some options where you can get the Storm formulas, general ball reaction without having the scent. And so I think that there's a lot of people that do throw Storm because of the scent, but there's also some people that say, hey, if I throw Roto or Global, I can get kind of a storm ball reaction without the scent.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably good that they have Storm for the scented stuff. That's their thing. And then Roto and Global smell like nothing. This is the other thing that we were talking about the other day, telling Riley, it's like, okay, well, you may not want the scent. It may be weird going from one to the other, but Roto and Global balls don't smell like anything. They don't smell like paint thinner, permanent markers, whatever else like the B7 and Motive stuff do. They just don't smell like anything.
No, they don't. That's impressive, actually. Because I got a shock one time. I ordered one of the second shocks I ordered through Motive, and it was so strong. I had it in my trunk before we drilled it. It was so strong I could smell it from my trunk to my driver's seat, and it literally was just put coming from my house to yours, and I could smell it that fast. Like it was just bleeding Sharpie. There you go.
Yeah, had a 16-pound Crux Prime, and I couldn't keep it right. I think it hooks. Yeah, the spec cover is very, very strong. It's also pretty smooth, but it's very strong. And so, yeah, I generally liked the Crux Prime was a little inconsistent, shiny, but man, if I kept the surface on it, it was very, very consistent. I actually I'm at the point where there's a few things I want to drill again. I think I've used up my parallax. I need to drill my backup parallax. And probably
the one you're showing off today.
Say what? No, that was actually Angel found that. The really good thing about liking balls that nobody else likes, like the promotions, I was able to scoop up a crap load of those for nothing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there were several of them. Like they found another, I don't know, several cases, and a guy got me some from a distributor, and it's like $100 a piece, which is nothing as far as bowling balls, especially Storm balls, discontinued stuff. Angel, I already had a parallax stashed. Angel found another parallax on eBay that she got for like $76. And it was $20 to ship it. But for less than $100, she got a Premier Line bowling ball that costs like $200 now. All the stuff that's out now, Dark Code, whatever else, is going to run you $200.
Oh yeah.
So to get something, a Premier Line, nobody liked the parallax, which is great for us because I liked it. She liked it. I've still got mine, my original one. I've got a backup. She's got a backup now for $100, which is great. So,
yeah, I think it's a cool name.
I'm going to show something else off too. I've got an oldie but a goodie. I put some. I was able to acquire this from someone who shall remain nameless at their request. but I was able to work out a deal for, and I am going to drill this and review this because I cannot let this sit on the shelf. Believe it or not, it still smells like apple cinnamon, and it smells like Apple Jacks. It smells just like Apple Jacks. X Factor Reloaded.
Yes,
This is
please.
one of my. I mean, I like the original X Factor was the ball.
Daddy is what it was.
Yeah, and then there was several other X Factors. They had the X Factor, the Triple X, the Triple Extreme, the
Ace.
the Ace, the Fear Factor, whatever else. The Reloaded was not as good as the original X Factor, but I still really really liked it. Very sharp look. It still is in. This thing is freaking immaculate. Just perfect. The specs are perfect. The ball looks perfect. There's not a nick or a scratch on it. The logos look amazing.
Oh, the X Factor Deuce too. Yeah,
Oh my
Deuce.
god. Yeah, the Deuce was the second one. This was the third one. But this is just so ridiculously amazing, and I have to drill this and see what's up.
They released so many good bangers at that time. That's why I was saying.
God.
Like
Early 2000s was, I mean, because they had the El Ninos that were right before the 2000s. They had a bunch of the El Nino Gold,
yeah,
the Exit, then they had the Traumas, then they had the X Factors, Eraser Boost, Eraser Blaze,
Depth Charge, Hot Rod,
Charges, yeah, the Hot Rods.
Secret Agent. You just keep going. There were
Yeah,
so many good, so
what a
many good
time to be,
balls.
yeah, what is the Prodigy?
Prodigy.
I mean, what a
Can't
time
forget
to
about
be
the
alive.
Paradigm. Paradigm's another one that was a banger.
The Paradigm. Yeah.
Yep.
What a
The only
time
problem
to
they
be
had with that
alive.
was they had some cracking issues with that one for a little bit.
Yeah, that was kind of a nightmare for HQ.
What are the specs on that ball? We'll just ask.
Which is really interesting because this was I looked these up, and I kind of you kind of expect regular asymmetric balls to be like around 250 RG, around an 050 diff, and around like an 020 intermediate differential. The X factors were 253, which is RST X2, X3, X1, whatever else. That's the RG, which is kind of medium. 058 differential, which is the code core, but the code core is based on this is the X Factor is the original rad core. That's where the rad core came from. And so what's in the codes, code black, dark code, code X, whatever else, is an evolution of the rad core design that started in the X Factors. So the rad X, the rad 4, the rad E that was in the intenses, all came from the original X Factor. And so the original X Factor 253, 058, 013, which 013 is that's like insight number. Yeah. So it's kind of they call it mild asymmetric now. The Rubicons were 011. So it's very interesting numbers. Medium RG, very high differential, medium to low intermediate differential. And bowling balls harden as they age, so I think that the hardness, or this getting harder over 20 years, came out in 03. This was inspected on January 23rd of 03, so it's almost 20 years old. But the age of this ball is going to have more to do with the reaction than the tech, because this was like prothane pearl particle or something like that, but basically the particle cover stocks of old are the nano cover stocks that they make now, that they have figured out. The particle cover stocks used to be really strong and then they die.
Yep.
They used to call, like with the Rock and the Rock On that had the Tech and the Tech 2 cover stocks from Columbia, you'd throw them for 30 games and they die, and so they call it Tech Death, which was kind of became a thing.
They were still so good early though.
Well, the depth charge had prothane pearl particle on it.
Yeah, but mine, the one that I drilled, had a million freaking games on it.
Oh my god!
They still went strong.
Yeah, I threw the depth charge forever. Amazing. I've still got it on the shelf.
Another one I forgot was the Storm Domination, the OG.
Yeah.
The Domination was another banger.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get that in there.
Mm-hmm.
They had just so many left and right back then. It was just like Oh my gosh, I got to spend another $200 on a bowling ball. Just can't miss out
Mm-hmm.
on one release from Storm right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know when you're making money hitting home runs when you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Did we miss anything?
Yeah.
Did you want to hit on our goals here real quick?
Bangers only back in the day, which is
Oh,
hilarious because we got a guy on our server who's a member of two different metal bands, or one of them's a metal band, and one of them is more like a punk rock, pop rock type of band.
is it Steve?
Scarecrow Hill is the metal band, and then Bayside High is the name of the other
Great.
one, and the name of Bayside High's latest album is Bangers Only, and it's got a picture of sausage. The cover art is sausages, like bangers,
Yeah,
like bangers and mash or whatever. But it's sausages, but it's bangers only.
that's great. Is it Steve?
And, huh? No, it's Joe Brennan. Joe
Joe Brennan.
B.
Okay. I
Yeah,
know. I know Steve he's a music guy too, right?
yeah. He's yeah, but he's younger and he's more
That's
into
right.
like mixing and whatever
I
else.
didn't realize
Yeah,
Joe Brennan did that. That's cool.
yeah. For two bands. So
Sweet.
yeah, Scarecrow Hill and then Bayside High.
Does he have any
And yeah,
time on his hands at all? That sounds like a
no,
lot of
no.
work.
Yeah, I know. Just being in one band's enough, but he's got a regular job and then he's in two bands.
Gosh.
Yeah, Scarecrow Hill and Bayside High if you want to check them out. And yeah, I just thought it was so great because the name of the album's Bangers Only, and it's got a picture of sausages on the cover. There's so many references that you
Oh,
can get out of that. But it
yeah.
just made me think of Storm in the early 2000s, like Bangers Only, like everything's just an absolute unit.
Oh, and you're not wrong. I mean,
Everything.
literally almost every release. They might have
Mhm.
missed one or two in that era, but my goodness,
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy though
hard.
because you didn't realize how much was coming out that was so good until
Yeah,
you go like 20 years later and you're like, holy crap,
yeah.
these balls were amazing.
Everything was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That's a Luke question. I have not thrown either of them. I just seen them go down the lane with my eyes. So
Mm. What's your favorite cover stock out right now? The REX, maybe Extreme Tracks, whatever's on the Idle Cosmos is amazing. And the REX, I like my Dark Code. I like the Infinite. I like the Night Road now. And then of course I love the Fate. Love the Fate. That ball's amazing. So Idle Cosmos and Fate, it's basically the same cover. They tweak them a little bit. The Roto version's a little bit stronger. The Cosmos is definitely stronger than the Fate. Both of those are amazing. So yeah, I'd have to say REX.
that makes sense if you like both. If you like both of those balls, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've thrown any. Yeah, I've thrown some with Rex. And then on the dark code,
yeah. That's REX.
that's what I thought. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like Rex.
yeah. It's a good cover stock. It's strong, but it's also kind of clean and sharp. And so yeah, it's
Justin, that's the Obsession Tour. To answer your question, I'm not sure if that's what you're confused about. You said what ball is OBT? Obsession Tour.
trying to decide between a gem and a proton physics. The proton is actually been discontinued. So
Recently, right?
the gem is earlier and smoother. I actually, in my gem, if you want to go check out my gem review, I compared the gem, the reality, and the proton on both the house shot and a sport pattern. So you'd probably want to go look at that, and that would help you make your decision. We talked about the specs. Anarchy was a banger. I really like the Anarchy, the X Factor. Yeah, Rad Plus is in the Domination series, so they're still making Rad cores. I mean, that's one of their bigger cores, and they're still putting that in stuff. So yeah, good stuff.
Idle Synergy is one I wish I could have got my hands on, but at the time I was on staff with Motive, so couldn't really throw it, so there was no point in me grabbing it. But I wouldn't mind. That's one ball I wouldn't mind to throw. But
Oh my god, I love the Idle Synergy. I had one or two 790s with that ball. I averaged a ton with that ball. I need to drill a fresh one actually.
and that was with left. That's left-handed.
Yeah. Love the Synergy. I have trouble throwing cleaner stuff now. I'm actually into quite a bit stronger equipment.
That's actually a good thing. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, that's anytime you throw it good enough to where you need to throw stronger equipment, I think that's kind of a good thing.
Trevor and I talked about that for you one day. He thought that for a while you thought you were in too shiny of stuff, and
Hmm.
he said once you start throwing the stronger stuff, you notice a difference.
Yeah, you don't have to be so touchy with stronger stuff because you know it's going
Right.
to hook. and
Yep.
that'll help you with getting behind the ball, getting through it better, getting through it with more confidence, with more energy, being firmer with it instead of having to kind of like feather it or try to help it hook or something.
Yep.
And so yeah, I've been throwing really. If I'm not, the Fate is about the weakest thing I throw anymore. If I'm
That's good.
not throwing that, I'm throwing the Idle Cosmos. I've been getting back into asymmetric stuff now. My Torch It, my Attention Black Pearl, whatever else. So yeah, I've been throwing strong stuff now quite a bit. So
That's a
trauma
good thing.
recovery. Also have a trauma recovery. The ugliest ball anyone's ever made, but I really did like that ball
It
too.
is god awful ugly.
It's
Yes,
terrible.
but it was an amazing ball. Yes.
Yeah. All right, we're getting to the end of the show here. 8 o'clock's about the time to wrap it up. I need to finish my whiskey here. But what do we want to let's talk about 2023 here for a minute. What's everybody's goals, thoughts? What are you thinking for what do you want to get accomplished, or what are you thinking about for next year?
Me for 2023, after having a couple of miserable years, and I feel it, I'm starting to turn the corner here at the end of 2022. Regardless, just throw last Saturday out the window. For me, 2023 is a matter of consistency. Um, Continue to get out, continue to throw it better. Don't we all want that? But
Yeah.
consistency is a big thing for me. Instead of coming out one time, taking Tulsa, for example, last year, or I went out and just couldn't miss, and then I go a week later and I'm god awful.
Mm.
And it's just been a couple of miserable years in general. And I think consistency is a key for me.
Mm.
I'd like to work on my mental game a little bit too. Have been getting better at that, of not completely frying out unless I throw a ball at gauge. But yeah, those are two main things: my mental game and consistency. Which my mental game, a stronger mental game, will help with consistency, in my opinion.
Yeah. Those two things kind of work hand in hand.
Yep.
Mine is just to kind of continue getting the direction I am.
Yep.
I was kind of going, when I first started the lefty thing, I was just trying to hit the pocket. So it's just
Yep.
like get it off my hand in the direction of the pocket, and everything was kind of working out there for a while. And then when I actually got better, it's kind of something. It's kind of a roller coaster that people get on. Initially you're just trying to get the ball off your hand clean, and then everybody gets good, and then they start trying, and then it goes back down the opposite direction. I
Yep.
think I'm on the uphill swing now. I'm throwing it really good. Um, I threw it pretty good on Saturday. I threw it really good filming yesterday. So I think I'm on the uphill swing with that. I want to continue to go that direction. But also, we've talked about this before. We had a show, Positive Negativity,
Yeah.
a month or so ago. But I've been listening to. There's this guy named Tom Bilyeu that has a bunch of people on that talk about all kinds of stuff, improving your life with diet, sleep, less stress, more positivity, whatever else. And I think that we're both troubleshooters. So it's easy. It's if you find the negative stuff and you get rid of it, then you're just naturally left with positive stuff. And ignoring negative stuff, you don't want to do that because it won't go away. You've got to attack it and get rid of it, fix it, improve it, whatever else. The goal is to end up being positive, but sometimes you can get stuck in complaining and negativity and whatever else. And so I've been listening to that on repeat. I just go through all the podcasts while I've got a desk job, so I can just get onto YouTube, put a earbud in, and go to work and have this stuff cycling. And so I'm trying to be, instead of, everybody likes to complain. We have a lot of fun complaining, and
I do enjoy it.
yeah. Well, that's the thing, is sometimes you enjoy it a little bit too much. Sometimes you get stuck in it, and then if you don't have anything to complain about, you feel a little bit lost. And I don't want to
Yeah.
necessarily go that direction. I'm ready to get rid of the stress, and it's like, okay, we know what the negative stuff is. We know what the problems are. Complaining about stuff is fun, but it's like, dear God, sometimes it's just exhausting. I
Yeah.
just want to. I'm ready to actually have good stuff happen. I'm ready to bowl good. I'm ready to stop being so miserable with all the time dump into this YouTube stuff and whatever else. I'm going to be doing it anyway, so I'd really like to enjoy it. And so that's actually been getting better.
Yeah.
I feel better about bowling. I feel better about YouTube and whatever else. And of course, we re-signed with Coolwick. I re-signed with Storm. I haven't seen any turbo contracts yet, but
I haven't seen one yet either. Yeah, it is what it
whatever.
is. It is what it is.
Kind of more of a loose affiliation
Yeah.
than a realistic
I
sponsor.
will add one thing that I want to work on too, and this also ties back into my mental game pretty heavily, actually. I'm really bad, and I'm just too dumb to admit it, but I'm really bad at when it comes into walking into a building that I haven't had much success at. And this includes Gage. This includes any Ward Parkway. It just any building that I've just never been able to perform well there. And I go, oh god, as soon as I walk in the door, it's gonna be another one of those days, and I need to quit that because you just never know what the days ahead. And when you walk in the door with negativity, 90% of the time, the results are going to be negative. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I would like to change, especially um, turning things around this year. And I know it's really made a difference in my approach when I actually go bull something. So
Mm-hmm.
Olathe Lanes East is an example of that.
Yeah, and
I
that's
hate
the
that
other
building
thing.
with a passion. And maybe one of these days, if I walk in and say, you know what, damn it, this is going to be a good day. Let's have some
Yeah,
fun.
instead of being negative, and there's a thing about understanding that it's been a historically tough house for you,
Yeah.
but saying you know what, I'm going to beat you,
Yeah.
you rat bastard, I'm going to beat you today. And that's the thing is historically at Belton, it's not a lefty house. We
Yep.
just do not enjoy going there. I did not. Again, it was a tough pattern. Not a whole lot of people did very good. I threw it good, missed some spares, got tapped most of the day. Had to beg for strikes even on the good shots, but I felt like I threw it pretty good, and that's what you gotta address the negatives without being drugged down by them. You
100%.
gotta address them and turn them into positives, or be positive about the good stuff that happened while continuing to work on the negative stuff. Some people get drugged into the negativity.
Yep.
I like complaining and I like working on the negative stuff, but I've never really been into just but I kind of get into poor pity me, and I get screwed all the time and whatever else, and the complaining's there, and it's not a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's the same thing. Like even James has told me, and I get down on myself so bad. Even
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
told me, dude, if you just hit your head in and fix your issues, you can strike at will. I'm
yeah,
like you're not wrong. I just got to figure out what's going on. I mean, there was a time where I couldn't miss. So
yeah, and like you said, sometimes you just walk into a center with a bad attitude, and you're just kind of waiting or expecting things to go wrong, and that's not exactly positive negativity. That's just kind of negativity.
that's just straight up negativity. I mean, you may go good for
So
a couple frames, and as soon as that one bad thing happens, right downhill you go.
yeah,
So yeah, careful, gonna start sounding like me.
so yeah, so I'm ready to turn the corner. I'm ready to for let's just
Me too. Air bump.
yeah, let's we we've had enough fun complaining. The last couple of years have sucked. We
Yep.
understand that Olathe and Belton are not necessarily going to be super friendly, but you know, let's have a couple beers and just enjoy the. I genuinely enjoyed being at the tournament on Saturday, even though it didn't go that
Same
great.
here.
It's
Same
like,
here.
hey, we got out and we bowled, and it kind of sucked, but it wasn't like terrible.
Yeah.
It was a little frustrating, but I threw some good shots, and we didn't have to pay to bowl the tournament, so I think that
Yeah.
helped. Didn't have to pay to bowl. We got a little bit of money back. We went to Brewbaker's after. I got jambalaya and had a pumpkin
Zock.
spice. Had a pumpkin spice white Russian, which was amazing. So it's like, yeah, I'm kind of ready to turn the corner and just.
I am definitely ready to enjoy this game more in a more positive way. How about that?
Mhm. Yep, we can still be realistic. We can still
Yep.
work on the issues, but with a focus on going that way. So,
100%. 100%.
yep, I think that'll take care of the show for today. Thanks everybody for showing up. Thank you again, Mr. BC Brian Collison.
I
Super
still
chat
say the
coming
trauma
back.
recovery is the ugly one.
Yeah. What's more ugly, the trauma recovery or Belmo's drive? The recovery is still the ugliest one.
Belmont Drive is pretty
The
dang good.
trauma recovery looks like a '70s version of the drive.
That's fair. I can agree with that.
I mean, it's just so much. The colors or the trauma recovery looks like an ebonite version of the drive.
Actually, I can agree with that too.
You take any color and make it depressing, and you have an ebonite bulb.
I can agree with that 100%. Yes,
So
the recovery is just god awful to look at.
the drive is fairly sharp, actually. And the members, the YouTube members, will see we're doing a Belmo collection. So Angel has all the Belmo balls. There's been 6 stateside ones so far. We probably should have drilled and included the overseas ones because we have a ProMotion Tour and a Trend SE that we did not drill for the Belmo collection, but we did the stateside. She had not actually thrown a drive before. She loves the Timeless, loves the ProMotion, Trend 2, Fate, whatever else. And so she had sourced a new drive and a new Timeless, and we went out and filmed. The YouTube members have already seen all the film cuts. I just have to put the video together, which should be coming, I think, on Wednesday. I should have the Belmo collection video ready for Wednesday, but the members have already seen the cuts that I put up like a week and a half ago. So anyway, it's past 8 o'clock. You got stuff to do. I got stuff to do.
I'm going to go up and spend some time with the fam. They're just getting home from gymnastics. Once again, this is our last show for a couple weeks to enjoy the holiday season with our families. I'm sure we'll see you quite a bit in between there, but thank you everybody for supporting us in 2022. We have a damn good time doing the show with you guys. Sometimes we have a hard time figuring out what to talk about with you guys, but we definitely enjoy it. We're at number 54. Next one will be 55, which is a perfect number to start the new year. And yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So again, I hope everybody has safe and happy holidays.
Yeah. Well, and we're gonna have a blizzard here in a couple days. So
yeah, it's gonna be really cold here. Once again, since we said we just were both re-signed with Coolwick, Rosedall 10, Haas 10 saves you 10% off at coolwick.com.
Yeah,
so
got to put those up real quick.
I would tell you to go try and get a last minute Christmas gift, but I highly doubt you'd get that in time. So I don't want to get you.
Yeah, probably not by now, but you could. They do have some options to expedite some stuff. So if you get on it now, you might be able to get stuff taken care of and get 10% off of it. You're going to pay an arm and a leg for shipping, but they might be able to get it done.
That's a fact.
So
they are the best in the business for a reason.
Yep, use either of our codes there. Jonathan's is significantly shorter to type.
I have a really long first name.
It could be worse. It could be Schiffelbein 10.
That's fact.
Or Baumgartner 10.
You know what?
Haley really screwed up. She's going from Caberline to Baumgartner. She didn't really find an upgrade there.
If you had a last name like that, you probably would have a hard time getting codes.
Amanda was much smarter.
She was. She married a short guy.
Yeah. We also have Facebook group at the Breakdown Pair. Instagram is at the Breakdown Pair. You can also email us at breakdownpair@gmail.com if you have longer stuff to talk about or if you want to email us. And then, of course, you can hop on our Discord, Storm Nation. Just search Storm Nation on Discord. I do have a Patreon. I do have YouTube memberships as well for you to check out. But we will see you, 12 to 4.
There you go. Smart lady.
Yeah.
Maybe I just got smart because she was smart. So
yeah.
Guys, do you know when our first show back is? Just so many know.
It's going to be next January. January, sometime middle of January, 20th.
So we have a few weeks off. We're off for more than a couple.
Yeah, it's probably going to be about a month because we'll have the next 2 weeks off for the holiday, and then Chris gets here on the 8th. She'll be here through the 20th. So then it's going to be January 2nd, 9th, 16th. So it'll probably be like the 20th, 21st, 22nd. So it'll be about a month. We'll have 4 weeks off anyway.
So if you miss us too much, come hang out with us on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah,
or Discord.
Yeah, in the Discord, we have crap loads of members' channels in the Discord.
Yep.
Crap loads. We have a dog and baby channel. If you just want to look at people's dog, we have a corgi in there. We have a white fluffy husky.
When you're corgis.
So yeah. So thanks everybody. Without further ado, we'll hop off of here and we will see you next year.
Hit you with the outro with the intro. Or
yeah,
intro with the outro.
Yeah, the outro with the intro, or the intro with the outro.
Thank you, everybody, once again. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Have a good holiday season. Thanks, and we'll see you later.
Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project in a landfill already.
And there you have
that one before.
it. No. We'll talk about that one more.
Terrible idea.